When it comes to the quality of DC films, I think it's pretty safe to say that critics have been all over the place in regards to what they like and don't. This also lines up with fans and their opinions as well. But it's very rare that we hear from people in the industry that are actively working on these same types of films. Enter Samuel L. Jackson, who's not really a big fan of DC Comics films and is rather skeptical of what they're doing. You know, it's every so often we hear from the actors starring in these films in regards to what they think of the competition. On one hand, you have Anthony Mackie, who was like, DC, whatever. On the other hand, you had The Rock calling for the death of the MCU in like 2015, 2016-ish, and well, we're still waiting for Black Adam, so the jury's out on that one. And of course, various actors have, lend their hand towards talking about what they think about the competition. The latest is Samuel Jackson, who sat down with the Happy Sad Confused show to talk about some of the DC projects and scripts out there, and if there was ever anything that he looked at that he figured, hey, I want to jump in on the DC bandwagon here. So without reading a bunch of long quotes, the short answer was no. Yeah, no. Not really. I'm skeptical of what they're doing because of the end result and their quality. And he said it's not because he was a big Marvel fan growing up or anything versus DC. He said he never even really looked at either of them. But as he just looks at it from the perspective he's, at, Marvel is doing better, and he's lucky to be there and wants to continue to be a Marvel guy. So, yeah, he's being honest. He didn't outright say he's not gonna do it, and he pointed out Ryan Reynolds playing Deadpool and Green Lantern and James Gunn working on multiple franchises, but again, it's just not something that interests him, and he's not really, into that. So, yeah, sounds like he's just happy where he's at. He's happy working on the franchises he's working on. Now, make no mistake, if they were to offer him some money and something he likes, he'd probably jump right in on that. Why wouldn't he, right? It's more money, it's another opportunity, so you never know. But as he says, he's skeptical. And rightfully so. You never know how things are gonna go. You should always be skeptical of these types of things, especially in that position, because one terrible project could derail everything for you. And it's a good thing he brought up Deadpool and Green Lantern. Because if you guys remember, after Green Lantern, Ryan Reynolds said nobody would hire him. It wasn't until the Deadpool leak that he got his second wind, and now he's where he's at with Deadpool's success. Had that not happened, he'd probably not be doing much, or he'd be in like straight to DVD films right now. Because again, Green Lantern just straight up killed any hype for him. So you gotta take your roles carefully, and I could see why he would be skeptical of DC, because one project comes out, it's got an 85 on Rotten Tomatoes, another one comes out, it's got a 35. So, you gotta choose your battles, and Marvel's at least been more consistent.